the 2013 Week 1 edition of High School Lowdown. For Ernest Boker, I'm Steve Wilson. Well, St. Al will be traveling down to Natchez to take on their arch-rival Cathedral in the opener for both teams. That's a tough way to start off your season with your arch-rival.
Yeah, it kind of draws you in, though. Draws your interest the first game, gets your kids fired up. Maybe a good way to get there, but Cathedral, not a bad team, so not necessarily the softest opponent to start off with.
Well, looking at the stat sheet, talking to Coach B.J. Smithhart, the Cathedral loves to fling the football around. They run a no-huddle spread offense. They have a quarterback, Thomas Garrity, a senior, who threw for 1,500 yards last year and 17 TDs.
Yeah, Cathedral's kind of had that MO for several years now. They've been a contender in Class 1A. Senior quarterback coming back. Looks like they should be pretty dang good again.
Well, kind of switching gears, PCA will open up their season at Union Christian, and you go from arch rival with St. Al and Cathedral to
what will hopefully be a glorified scrimmage for Porter's Chapel. Union Christian has struggled, to put it lightly. They are 2-45, something like that, since they started the program 4 years ago. And
yikes!
Coming into the game with a 31-game losing streak, PCA beat them 58-0 last year. So you never know in the private schools what you're going to get. They could get a few transfers in. PCA's gotten several in this year that should help them. If Union Christian's done something similar, they might be better than last year. But PCA should still be a heavy favorite going into this game.
And of course, the main event Friday night is going to be the Red Carpet Bowl. Vicksburg is going to be taking on Terry in the late game, and Warren Central will be opening up things by taking on Macomb.
Yeah. Warren Central and Macomb, kind of some old rivals. They had a good little long-standing feud there for many years. Got away from it the last 4 or 5 years, I guess. So it's kind of a nice little renewal to get this thing going again, at least for 1 year anyway.
Well, the big news out of Macomb is they have a quarterback who's got offers from State, La Tech, and Grambling. His name is Alex Woodall. Big 6'4", 225 kid, threw for 1,700 yards, 20 TDs last year. That's a pretty good number in high school football.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen a lot of inflation in passing numbers the last few years with the spread offense has really taken over and teams trying some different things. 20 years ago that you would have never seen that. That would have been somebody who would have signed with an SEC school. Now it's a pretty good quarterback. We'll see what he's got Friday night, but Warren Central's defense will definitely be tested right out of the gate.
Well, kind of switching gears to Vicksburg, they'll be taking on a Terry team that's kind of struggled in recent years.
Yeah, they've had some great players. Anthony Dixon's with the 49ers started State. A couple of the other Dixon brothers. Certainly, they've had talent there over the years, but kind of dropped off. And you talk about going from the passing game with Warren Central. This is the polar opposite. This game might be over in about 45 minutes. The way these teams are going to run the ball. Vicksburg is kind of evolving their spread offense to be a spread option veer. Terry's going to a wing tee with their new coach Todd McDaniel,
kicking it old school.
Yeah, so this game is going to be a lot of running. We've seen some 3-hour games with Vicksburg in the Red Carpet Bowl. This one you might want to make sure you're there on time, because if you're not, you might miss a good chunk of it.
The season promises to be a different one on the gridiron this year. You got a new coach at PCA. St. Al's got a new defense. Vicksburg's got a new offense. How do you see things shaking out?
This season's it's really like throwing everything in that we've known for the last 10 years into a blender. We got some new districts, some new coaches. I think we're going to see some improvement from some teams based on just who they're playing. St. Al's, they've been a decent team that's been stuck in a really tough district the last few years. They're going to that Delta district that's should be a little bit easier. Certainly not 3 or 4 state championship contenders like they've been. They'll see some improvement just based on having a chance to win a few more games.
It's kind of like going from the SEC West to going to, say, Coosa.
Correct. Vicksburg's something similar. I mean, not that their region's going to be any cakewalk, but I think there's probably a couple of weaker teams than they've seen in there, and they'll certainly be probably a little bit better than they were last year,
especially numbers wise.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff. You see teams that'll improve by 3 or 4 wins, and it's really just taking a step back and playing a little bit softer schedule. And Warren Central's going the opposite way. I think they're their region has gotten a lot tougher, where they've dropped a couple of the JPS schools that usually struggle, and brought in Columbus and Starkville, who were a couple of heavyweights. So they may be a good team that when we wrap things up in November ends up being on the outside because just of a tougher schedule.
Just from looking at the way the divisions are done, that division looks like it's the second toughest in 6A football, if you ask me.
Yeah, when you're bringing in the Class 5A champion, to replace, I can't remember off the top of my head who they replaced, but anytime you're bringing in a team of that caliber and a perennially strong program like Starkville, it's an upgrade. And lest we forget Porter's Chow before we wrap things up here for the week. They've got in a lot of transfers that'll help them. They're also in a tough division. Trinity and Wilkinson Christian, two very, very good teams, always strong programs. So they're going to have their work cut out for them, even if they, like Warren Central, even if they're improved. If you don't win a couple of those key games, you're gonna find yourself on the outside looking in come playoff time.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of High School Lowdown. For Ernest Boker, I'm Steve Wilson. Be sure to check out Twitter at Vix Post Sports. That's VIX Post Sports. And be sure to check out all the happenings at VicksburgPost.com. Thanks and have a great day.